So up until the 28th of March, I've now been restricted from my training because of some allegation. I still don't know what the allegation is fully. I don't even think they've not sent me anything at this point. But all I know is the police are involved, the employers decided to restrict my training, and the GMC have been notified. On the 20th of March is when he first writes to me, which is a restriction letter. So the concerns that he then writes in the letter or the complaint of these 3 bullet points, this is the first time I've seen what the issue is. So first bullet point, it is alleged that you attended Nottingham University Hospital's NHS Trust, the Queen's Medical Centre, Emergency Department as a relative of a patient on the 11th of March 2022, during the course of which you were rude and increasingly verbally aggressive to staff members. It is said that this culminated in you making threats to the staff members' personal safety and life. The above concerns have been reported to the General Medical Council and the police. So when I read that, I think, okay, the General Medical Council haven't been in contact with me. The police haven't been in contact with me. And I didn't threaten somebody's safety and life, and I wasn't verbally aggressive and abusive. And actually, what evidence do you have for this? But you've decided to restrict my training. On the same day that I get this letter, I then get informed by the HR assistant that they have spoken to the police, and the police have said that they have been unable to get in contact with me. Therefore, the employer suggested that I make contact with the police officer myself. And in an email, I got given his name and his mobile number. Now, Maz, at no point did the police come to my home address. At no point has the police tried to ring me. At no point have any attempts even been made to locate me because the police haven't been there. And, you know, now we're on the 28th of March, and I'm guessing the complaint went to the police on day 1, which is the 11th of March. So the police has had ample time to find me, yet have failed to do so. Anyway, the employer says to me, lead employer, here's a number, contact the officer yourself. So that's exactly what I do. I contact the police officer, and he states to me, yes, there's been a complaint against you, but I don't have enough information in that complaint to be able to arrest you. However, if you want to close this matter, then I advise that you come in for a voluntary interview, and we can put the matter to an end. I said, okay, fine, I'll do that. So what I then do is I get in contact with a law firm in Nottingham and get myself a solicitor. I ask her to contact the officer and to organise a voluntary interview. That's exactly what she does, and organises an interview on the 6th of April 2022. I also then inform my employer that I've organised the interview because, you know, throughout the whole thing, I was regularly in contact, updating my employer because that was the right thing to do, right? To engage with the process, just to ensure that I can get back to work. So we go to the interview. At that interview, or prior to the interview, he briefs my solicitor. So what the officer says to my solicitor is, if your client admits to using threatening language, I can put the case to an end, and I can just give a community resolution order, and that's it, case closed. So when my solicitor tells me this, I say to her, well, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to admit to doing something that I've not done. And also, I've already written a letter of complaint against her, which outlines exactly what happened. I've sent that to my program director. She sent it to the head of school. You, as my solicitor, has also seen that document. I'm not now going to sit here and say, no, actually, I did use threatening language, because that is not what happened, right? So, no, I'm not going to do that. So, you know, in my interview, I just literally outlined whatever I'd written in my complaint letter. At that point, I've given my interview. The interview concludes with the officer saying, right, I must now speak to the complainant and see what she wants to do next. I said, fine, you do what you've got to do. He got back to me a couple of days later saying, I've spoken to her, and she's claiming that you're lying and that she has witnesses in the department to back her story and to back her complaint. I said, okay, you do what you need to do. He goes, yes, she's instructed me to carry out a full investigation. All right, fine, you, again, do what you've got to do. Anyway, so from that point onwards, the medical director writes to me every 4 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And each time he sends me a restriction letter. And in each one, he continues to say, these are the allegations, which are the 3 points I read out earlier. Doesn't want to hear my side of the story because there now is a police investigation.
Yeah.
And he's just going to wait and see what happens, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, March,
Yeah.
April, May, June, July. We get to July. Every month he sends me restriction letters to say, you're restricted, you're restricted, you're restricted. On the 20th of July, I get another restriction letter. In that one, he states that the restrictions are to continue for a further 4 weeks. He's stating that he's got no reassurance that that behaviour won't be repeated. Again, behaviour that's not actually been proven to have taken place. On the 25th of July, I get a call from my solicitor. She tells me that she's had correspondence from the police officer stating to inform me that no further action will be taken. Reason being, no evidence. Basically, no witnesses came forward to support that doctor's claims that I'd threatened her. Now, at that point, on the 25th of July, I'm thinking, okay, thank Lord. Thank Lord that this is now over.